Good day. I'm Mary Weber, and I am an artist. I've been commissioned to paint a rain barrel. I have scrubbed it already in my wash sinks with these brushes, inside and out, and dried it thoroughly. Now, I will go about sanding the whole thing so the paint will adhere properly. After I sand it, I will wash it off also. And I'm using a fine grit 800 to 1000 sandpaper. And then I also have blocks that are the same grit. And I will be using those in the larger areas. If you have a hand vibrating sander, that will make it much quicker and easier. But I don't have one, so I'm just using what I have and doing what I can with what I have. So, and I do an area at a time. So now I will go from the top to the first level. The next one, I'll go from that level to the bottom. Then I'll do the whole section down to a line. It just helps me so I don't miss spots. Okay, here we go. That's all there is. But then you need to wash it off right away and get it dry and paint as soon as it's dry, because it's somewhere I read that the sanding will close up and it won't do any good. So with plastic you have to paint it immediately. And now I've dried my barrel. It's totally dry after sanding and wiping the sanding dust off. And I will be using an Extreme Bond primer that is to work on surfaces that are hard to stick surfaces. And I will be painting 2 coats. I'll first go one way and then the other, round and then up and down on my barrel. The first coat I will allow to dry about an hour or so it's dry enough and tacky enough to adhere to another coat. So first I'm going around. And I'm using a large brush. It's soft and a fairly decent one, so you don't get a lot of heavy-duty lining in the end. And not heavy coats, because then you get drips, and that shows up in the end on your design. And then most paint manufacturers, I think, say use a fairly even coat, not a heavy coat. And again, I'm doing a section at a time, so it just makes it easier to keep track of where you've gone. And now you can see that I have spray painted this barrel in the base color that the client wanted. And I've started, they want their name of their property that they're calling their property on it. So I've started that, and I started the design that they wanted to have on it. And that's basically taken me several hours. And I'm going to continue on that. And then I will be painting the rest of this. I ran out of paint. I had to get more for spray paint in the color. But you can see I put the primer underneath, let it dry overnight, and then I've spray painted it, and I'm about to finish the spray paint. Then I'll put the same design that the client wants on the barrel top. And this is, so far, this is how far I've gotten. I wanted to add a little bit more to the process that I neglected to say along the way. Once you put your base paint on, the white or whatever you use for a base color that is a strong paint that is made to adhere to plastics and different kinds of products other than paper and wood. You need to, within 24 hours, my paint says to put a finish on it. So once that's dry overnight, then I put my design on. Once the design is done, the pretty part, then I put on I leave it sit overnight, dry overnight, 24 hours. Then I put on a polyurethane, and that has been held up the best. I tried a tractor paint varnish, thinking that would be more durable, but it's almost, maybe it's too hard and it cracks off. So the polyurethane has lasted the best. 3-4 years on the first 3 barrels I've done, and they still look very good. So I would suggest doing that. I wanted to add that to make sure that's clear on the timing of the painting and the finishing. You need the finish in order to have it hold up. And before you start moving it around after the last varnish is put on, the varnish, polyurethane varnish, needs to be in 3 coats. One going down, one going around, and another one going down, each time opposite. Then you let them, each one, after each coat, you let it dry at least 5 hours. I always did, or overnight, and then I'd do another coat and then another coat overnight. And then let it sit for a week or 2 before moving it around, because it needs to, I can't think of the word. It sort of cures. It needs to cure. So it gets hard. So thank you for listening, and I hope you let me know if you want one. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this session and that you'll come back for more. Please look for my video at www.marysartofbusiness.com, or look for my website has examples of things I'd like. If you don't see what you'd like, email me at mcwart@mac.com and tell me what you're looking for, colors, size, that kind of thing. We can talk, and maybe I can make just exactly what you want. I certainly will try. Let me know.